Hi, friends. Welcome to Lotus in the Light. My name is Jennifer. Thanks for joining. So I'm just going to take a minute here. I don't really know the total direction that this is going to go, but we are one day away from the end of No Shame November. This month, if you aren't familiar, is the month that I deemed as No Shame November, where I was totally focused on following my joy and just saying yes every time there was an opportunity uh, to redirect myself and go towards greater joy. And so I just want to reflect on that a little bit. We still have one more day, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. And I didn't always do a great job of posting the different things that I was doing throughout the week because when I'm caught up in the joy, I'm caught up in the joy. I'm not making videos and posting and stuff, right? So, and then I'm probably going to pull a card while I'm doing it. I think I'm going to pull maybe a spirit animal card while I'm talking about it. But I think the big takeaway for this month was really just recognizing how to live, enjoy, and find joy in the day-to-day regular moments. It's easy to find joy in the moments of vacation or on your Saturday when you don't have other obligations or commitments if you have a regular Monday through Friday job, but you know what I mean, on your off day, whatever that is. Or if you're a student, it's easy to find joy in the summer or on spring break or whatever, but like finding the joy in the daily can feel like a real challenge, especially if you're maybe not where you really want to be in life. Okay. And that's the first like wake up call. If you are saying to yourself, well, I'm not really in a place or time or space or financial situation or geographic location or relationship situation that is conducive to joy, like things just aren't good in my life. Um, okay, wake up call, recognize that. No shame, no judgment. It's just a breadcrumb, right? From God telling you, like, hey, you're not happy. Or maybe you're happy, but you're not as happy as you could be? Um, so that, No Shame November at minimum could just be that. If you struggle to find joy and follow your joy in this month, step number one is acknowledging, how much joy am I living in? If you had to dissect your day into hours and minutes and say, okay, what portion of this day did I spend feeling joy? And what portion did I spend feeling something other than joy? Okay. Wow. What a great exercise. What a great way to reflect on the month. If you didn't participate in No Shame November, but you are seeing this video after the fact, um, man, do that. Even if you don't do it for a whole month, do it for a week, do it for a couple of days. Say, okay, let's really evaluate how much time I am spending in a state of joy. And for some of you, you might say, well, why is that important? And I'm going to say that I believe uh, abundant joy is the state that we are called to live in. If you come from a Christian background, it is the abundant life that we are called to live is rooted in joy. Um, we really forget that so easily. I love this. I actually had this card just recently for someone, so that's funny. I'm going to say when I say recently, it was actually earlier today. So interesting that this pops out again. Now is a lucky time. See, 49 breaks down to a 4. So this is really rooted in what this is telling me is that you're really feeling emboldened. You're feeling the courage. You're feeling the foundational safety to step out and find some joy. Okay. And the fact that this is your lucky time, right? This is a lucky time, it says. I mean, go after it, go after the joy. So like I said, step one, evaluate how much of your time, how much of your life you're actually living in a state of joy. I'm going to pull out the biblical tarot because I think this narrative of finding your joy I don't think it's super strong in the Christian the modern day Christian narrative. Um, sadly. And there's lots of different Christian. I don't even want to say denominations. I'm just because there are, but there's just lots of different Christian like belief systems. Wow. Um, So there's lots of different kind of belief systems and narratives that we follow in Christianity. And I don't think joy is a big focus of many or if any of them. Okay. And I really want to challenge that. And I love that we just pulled the Emperor card. Kind of goes right along with this being your lucky time. Both are fours. But here's the thing about the Emperor. The Emperor has all the qualities of um he's got the intellect. He's got the strength. He's got the courage. He's got the spiritual wisdom. He's got the intuitive connection to God. I mean, he's got like all the things. He's solid. He's trustworthy. There's a word I'm looking for that is he's just living in abundance. This is King Solomon, by the way, and because it's a major arcana card, it doesn't give a scriptural reference like most of them do. But I mean, King Solomon, he had his shit together, right? I mean, he had uh, an entire empire. He was he wanted for nothing, okay, in the physical sense, in the spiritual sense. So talk about a life of joy. Right there it is, right? So wow, I love that. And two fours, so again, both rooted in a space where you feel safe to take those leaps, to make those choices. That's what's really hard about finding your joy, is that most of us that aren't living in aren't feeling an experience of joy on the regular. It's not because of your circumstances. We believe it is. We believe it's because of our partner, or because of our job, or because of our kids, or because of our, somebody that's taking your time or your energy or your emotional energy. They're like zapping you. It's none of those things. It's your belief system 100% of the time. Okay. So if you're allowing those things to drain you, those people, those circumstances, those situations to drain you, it's because you believe something about that that is allowing you to give up your power to them. That's allowing you to give up your happiness and your joy to them. So if you feel like there's somebody else or something else that is coming between you and your joy, you need to start asking yourself why. Why am I allowing that? What do I believe about that? Okay. As you peel back the layers, it will come back to you and your belief systems. And that's where we have the opportunity to rewrite the narrative, right? What we believe, beliefs don't equal truth. Okay. Belief does not equal truth. In your mind, it does. I believe this because I believe it's true. And therefore, it is true for you, but it doesn't have to be. Beliefs are not inherently true. Maybe I should say it that way. They're definitely true for you if you believe them, but they don't have to be. They're not inherently true. So it's time to start evaluating that. It's actually funny. I'm actually wearing the perfect shirt for this conversation. Let me just push my thing down. So I don't know if this comes through. I think it comes through where you can read it, but it says Romeo Who. This is from a Broadway play, a Broadway musical that I went to in New York in the spring called & Juliet, based on the story Romeo and Juliet. So glaringly absent is the Romeo in this & Juliet story. And the premise of the story is William Shakespeare's wife comes in and says, "Hey, Bill, why did you write this horrific ending? This is a terrible ending. Why does Juliet have to go and kill herself just because Romeo goes and kills herself?" Sorry for that spoiler alert if you aren't familiar with Romeo and Juliet, right? Hopefully we all are. But anyway, and she doesn't like that ending. That's not a very empowering ending for a woman that, her whole life's over because this man is no longer there. She wants a new ending. And so that's just it. It's like your narrative that you're living and believing and breathing is not set in stone. All of that can change if it's not if it is not leading you to your highest and best good, if it is not leading you to spiritual freedom, if it's not allowing you to experience um, abundant living, if it's not allowing you to experience all the fruit of the spirit, the joy, the peace, the love, the kindness, all the fruit of the spirit. Um, should I do another? I think I'm going to do another. Since we're all up in the biblical tarot right now, I'm going to do another card here. So again, now's the lucky time, according to the rabbit. A bunch just fell out. And I go, wow, got another major arcana at the bottom, which is the Hanged Man. Um, and interesting, this is Peter's crucifixion, is what they use to demonstrate the Hanged Man. But what the Hanged Man is really about, wow, that's very interesting, is just not rushing things. Um, just sitting in your, I don't know how to say it. What do I want to say? It's okay to pause and to just hang there for a minute when you're transitioning from an old belief into a new belief. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's funny because right where the deck split, I got the Knight of Feathers, which is kind of a different energy because knights tend to kind of charge forward and go fast, right? And Knight of Feathers is specifically charging forward and going fast in the spiritual element, right? You're going fast towards, in this case, this is Paul the Apostle out of Acts. Let me just read it. At once he began to preach in the synagogues that Jesus is the Son of God. Okay, so this is a man that's been converted. He used to persecute Christians, right? Now he's in the synagogue preaching. I mean, he moved quick. He moved fast from one belief system to another because he was enlightened. And that's what Knight of Feathers is all about. It's that fast movement into a new heart space belief system, not intellectual belief system. He was rooted in the intellectual belief system that was causing him to persecute these people. Now he knows, not knows, but knows something different. And that's where you're headed, right? It's, according to everything else I'm seeing here. But this Hanged Man is, wow, these are both 12s. That's pretty amazing. So they break down to threes, which is threes are about learning big life lessons. So what I'm getting from this is like, take a pause, reflect, evaluate your belief systems, evaluate the narrative that you have been telling yourself, about God, about joy, about life. Reflect. If it's time to pivot to a new narrative, Romeo who, right? Then pivot. And then, and this, what I'm getting here is that this is going to happen and it's going to move fast when it happens. It's going to be a light switch moment for you. And it's, you know, from an emperor perspective, it's not going to be like a dilly-dallying around. Like you've got it all there to take charge of that situation and take ownership of your life and find your joy. So I love that for you. I love the idea of you taking ownership of your life and finding your joy. Let's see if we can get one last card. We can just ask Spirit to put a nice little bow on this and kind of help us understand where this is going to take you. I didn't even get the whole question out, but I'm going to trust that Spirit knew where I was going with that. I was going to say where Spirit's going to take you in the next few weeks. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut out a few seconds there because I accidentally knocked my camera out. But what I got was Parrot Spirit. And it's watch your words. And I might read this one, but listen, this is really important because the words we tell ourselves, the narrative, look, how funny is that? That's hilarious. It's all about the narrative that we tell ourselves. Your ability to bring joy into your life, your ability to find joy in every moment, whether it's the mundane moment or even the moments of stress. I was able to really do that this month. I was really able to take stressful moments and find joy in them legitimately, not psyching myself out, but legitimately find joy in them. That is something that I've been working on for about a year now. Um, it's taken me a really long time of like getting rid of a lot of old belief systems and a lot of old narratives that I was telling myself. Okay. And so it's not something that I got to overnight. It took a while, it took a minute. So give yourself a break. Don't judge yourself harshly. This life is just about the experience, right? It's just about the learning and the growth. And so cut yourself some slack, take some time, but I just really want to challenge if you're telling yourself a narrative that your life, the peace, the joy that you're feeling in your life, or the lack of those things, if you're telling yourself a narrative that says that that is tied to anything or anyone else other than you and your beliefs, I will really challenge you to reevaluate that. Okay, watch your words. What are you saying to yourself? What message are you repeating? I mean, come on, I can't even. Spirit's so good to me. Is it something that makes you feel good about yourself and reminds you of your strengths and your potential? Parrots mimic the sounds around them. And when parrot spirit appears, it's time to be more mindful of your self-talk and its qualities. What do you say to others? Are you repeating what you truly believe? Remembering to speak with light and love can become a habit. Be generous with compliments and thanks, affirming all that is good so that your loving, healing words will be heard throughout the jungle, cutting through the noise and inspiring others. Listen for the words that remind you of all the strength, abundance and joy in your life and in the world around you. And then repeat them. Gosh, what a beautiful card. Repeat them, it says, affirming what is real, true, and nurturing to the soul. The universe will reflect back to you the story you tell. That is true. That's manifestation. That is the law of attraction. That is the third law of motion. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. That is the universe reflecting back to you the story you tell. You get to choose that story. Words matter, so choose ones that lift you up and inspire others to remember that beauty surrounds us. What is that? Ephesians 4:29, I think. Um, I'll let you look that one up, but that talks about the words that you're choosing, words that lift others up. Um, okay, there's more to that, but I'm gonna leave it right there and just give you this little tip. When you're in the daily moments, it's those small moments over and over again because your brain is hardwired. We create these neural pathways that once they're kind of created, it's like every time you have a reaction to something, however you reacted, digs a little trench in your brain and it says, oh, okay, we've done it this way now. And it's like the next time the energy's flowing through and you're experiencing something similar, it says, oh, go this way. We've done this before. We know how this comes out, what the outcome here is. This is the easiest path. It becomes the easiest path, right? So like if you make a mistake at work and you beat yourself up and you like that becomes the path of least resistance, right? So you really have to like dig new trenches in your mind. And that takes time. So your belief may change. Your spiritual belief may change, but it takes a minute for your body and your mind to catch up. And so what that means is you may change what you believe, and then you're going to keep finding yourself having that same experience over and over again. And it's spirit's way of, I'm going to use the word testing you, but it's not like a pass fail test. It's spirit's way of saying, okay, you believe this now. Prove it. Prove it to yourself. Change the neural pathways in your mind. I'm going to give you these opportunities to do something different and new. And after you do it 3, 4, 5, 6 times, now you've retrained your brain. Now your brain knows a new narrative too. Instead of your brain telling you this other, your human mind's telling you a narrative that isn't fully true because it's not tapping into your higher mind, which is in your heart space. Okay. So that neural pathway that's been created before, based on an old narrative, based on limited understanding of your human mind, now you're retraining that based on a broader understanding of your higher mind, of your soul, of God. Okay. That's that happens in those little day-to-day moments when something silly happens and oh, I'm so mad at them, and then you pause. I had that experience oh, why did he do this? This was my immediate thought when my husband forgot to renew the passport and I realized it 2 days before our New Zealand trip and oh, why didn't he renew his passport? And then with normally that I would have been angry for days, maybe weeks about that. I might still be angry about it and thrown it into space, right? Um, 10 seconds or less. I was angry for a minute and I said, wait a minute. That's not a true narrative. That he didn't screw up. There's a reason this happened. There's some reason why this is for our highest and best good, whether it's lessons for us to learn in this. Maybe it was just all about, maybe that whole lesson of us missing that trip was about me rewiring my neuro pathways to a new narrative that didn't steal my joy. Maybe that's all it was about. Maybe it was the same for him or something different for him. Maybe it was maybe it was just simply because when we go on our vacation in February, it's going to be even better. It's better timing. Things are just working out better for it. And Spirit knew it was going to be a better timing. Maybe it's all of those things and more. I guarantee you it is. So anyway, my point being, I was able to catch the old belief, catch the old negative response, very quickly change and say, no, there's no one to blame here. There's a reason it happened. And flip the switch from anger back to joy. And it was actually quite easy, and it gets easier and easier and easier every time. Now that was a really big instance, but we do it daily in all these little tiny ways. Every little decision, every little experience, we choose joy or not. Um, okay, and I'll leave it right there. I feel like I could go on and on. Okay, I love you guys. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. I'm excited to see where our journey